Thank you, Senator Worker. Senator Shaheen, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Secretary Austin, General Brown, and Undersecretary McCord for your service to the country. One of the things that I think we would all agree as we're talking about budgets is that if Congress would pass the budget bills on time with certainty, it would make the job of budgeting a lot easier. Do you agree with that, Secretary Austin? I think you made that point in your opening statement.
I absolutely agree with that, Senator.
Thank you. And Chairman Reid talked about this, and I think you made it pretty clear, but Senators Gillibrand, Kelly, and I just returned from a trip to the Indo-Pacific. And what we heard from our partners was concern that our failure to follow through on our commitment to Ukraine would embolden the PRC. Again, I think you made that pretty clear in your earlier statement, but can you speak again to what the impact would be for global security if we fail to live up to our commitment to Ukraine?
It would be a signal that the United States is an unreliable partner, and that would encourage and embolden autocrats around the globe to do the types of things that Putin has done.
And it would have an impact not only on Xi, but on Iran as well, would it not, given that they are the major contributors of drones to Russia and they are benefiting from this war in Ukraine?
That's correct, Senator.
So if we care about what's happening in Iran, this is a good way to address what's happening there as well, correct?
I believe so, Senator.
Thank you. Last week, and thank you for taking time to talk with me last week, but one of the things we saw last week was a CBS News investigation, which was the first public report that pointed to evidence of Russia's responsibility in the anomalous health incidents, also known as Havana syndrome. Our office has been in touch with victims almost since the first reporting of those incidents, and what we've heard from a number of those victims is that they believed that there was an adversary who was involved in those incidents. So can you tell me, in light of the reports, do you believe that the intelligence community should take another look at its assessment? And you have oversight over two intelligence agencies, the Defense Intelligence Agency and the National Security Agency. Have you encouraged them to take another look at the reports and provided any resources towards that action?
Let me just say that I take the health and well-being of the force extremely seriously, and I've spoken to leaders in the intelligence community and addressed this issue with them. They have assured me that they will continue to address and investigate any new evidence that presents itself, and they will continue to assess. The intelligence agencies that are a part of the Department of Defense will continue to support that overall effort. But yes, to answer your question.
And so do you consider the revelations from that CBS report that included several other news outlets and a fair amount of real investigation, do you consider that new information that would warrant that kind of an investigation, further investigation?
They do, and they're looking into those things, each element of that report. So.
Thank you. And do you have any sense of when you might be able to report back to the committee on what they have found? Do you have any kind of a timeline for that?
I don't, but I certainly will get with the leadership of the intelligence community and get a feel for the progress that they're making.
Thank you. I would appreciate hearing what they expect and what they're finding out.
Okay.
I think this is both for you, Secretary, and for General Brown. One of the things that we continue to hear about is Russia's malign activities in the information space. And in fact, just this week, we heard from two members of the House, the chair of the Intelligence Committee and the Foreign Relations Committee in the House, that they see Russian disinformation being parroted by Republican members of the House. Is this a concern that you all share? And how do the Russian tactics in the information domain address or impact what's happening in Ukraine?
Well, this is, the Russians have always endeavored to use, to be effective in the information space, and we've seen that from the very beginning here with the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and that work continues to today. And they will also seek to influence attitudes and operations in countries that are supporting Ukraine, not only in the United States, but in other Western countries, and that work continues. But I expect that we'll see that in the future, and there'll be a greater effort on the part of Russia to take advantage of what they consider to be an opportunity here. And so I think anything that we can do to burst Putin's bubble is in terms of providing support to Ukraine would be very, very helpful. And the big thing that we could do is pass the supplemental. So.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Shaheen. Senator Fisher, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, gentlemen.